Let's talk about ripping for a reaction. This is In Through the Outdoors, and I'm your guide, Chasin' Walter. I admit with the warmer weather, I struggle a little bit to find compelling content that's worth a darn. I had to think back on my last trip on the ice when it was super windy. Using a Rippin wrap made all the difference in that trip. It wasn't drastic, but it helped. See, it wasn't until this very moment I realized that all that hard ripping was maybe a little more detrimental than I thought. When I play it back in my mind, it was the subtle reps, the slow up and down that seemed to trigger fish just a little bit more. Pressure was high that day, and maybe that was part of it, being a little more finessey. I've never been a big Rippin wrap fan under the ice because I never really figured out how to make it work for me, but I'm getting better at it because I'm using it more and I'm gaining confidence. If you're not using a Rippin wrap or other brand like the PK Lures Ridge Rattler, Live Target's Rattlebait, Northland's Rippin Shad, or Berkeley's new Jack, which I wish they would make in a size 3, 4, and 5 because they are quite big. As a matter of fact, a little too big to use in this situation, but let's move on. I never really realized how Rippin could help fill a limit. That one extra bite is big. My inexperience with it has me trying all kinds of things. Ripping it as hard as I can, ripping it a foot or two, jigging it just so it sits there and rattles a bit. It's interesting. I also found that short movements up and down can be productive too. Being repetitive seems to be a bit of a detriment, so change things up. I'm Chasin' Walter, and that's In Through the Outdoors. I hope you get out there real soon. As for me, there's no doubt I'll be out chasing Walter, ripping it. Be safe, and thanks for listening. There are over 1,000 episodes of In Through the Outdoors now, with over 100,000 podcast downloads. Between Hooksets is growing too, and coming soon, a new long-form radio and podcast called Walleye Radio, dedicated to chasing Walter.